of Ottawa BuzzTV. We have two amazing change agents right from Ottawa who have an amazing event that's coming up on May the 29th in Ottawa. So Jennifer, why don't you start off and introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about the event, and then we'll move on to Lisa and find out what the event is all about.
Sure. So hi everyone, my name is Jennifer Clark. I am a spiritual professional teacher in Ottawa, intuitive coach, passion and purpose activator. One of the specialties I have is helping people uncover power archetypes, help them shift from pain into power, move into a passionate life full of purpose, meaning through work, play, and service. So as a coach, I get to see sort of all kinds of people, ages 3 to 83 is on my website, children, teens and adults. It's really about helping people align with who they are and why they actually were here. Here being in your physical body, what are the lessons that this physical body is teaching me? What are some of the lessons my parents are teaching me? My tribe, my community, the country I've chosen, but also, what am I here to do? Am I here to be a creator? Am I a writer? Am I, an activist? Am I a peacemaker? There's so many ways that people, can be of service in a soft way, but also in a way that is very profound to people's lives. I tell people, life purpose on a spiritual level, of all the teachings and philosophies I've studied over the last 20 years, it's really about, helping others, balancing your karma, understanding your spiritual teachings, like your own lessons, like what am I here to learn? What is this person teaching me? So reflecting back on negative and positive experiences. And really, last but not least, is having fun, joyful, which is Lisa Anna's section. As someone who has, really lived her purpose, I can die today and know that I've helped people. Like, that is one thing I'm good with my maker. Passion and joy has been sort of my weak spot sometimes, because I become a workaholic. I become so caught up in the stress of I'm a working mother, I'm an entrepreneur, I have a husband, I have a sister who's sick, I have lots of responsibilities in the community, and I tend to sort of forget self-care. So all these issues, I think, relate to people in so many ways, meaning you're working, you're stressed, you want to you have duty, responsibilities. You want to do right in the world, you want to do good in the world, but you have to do right by yourself first. So we're really hoping that Sunday, May 29th is a personal day of transformation and change, a day where you can invest in yourself. The price point's really good because we're offering lunch, 3 speakers all day, including Lisa Anna's official passion test, destiny activations that I'm doing, energy clearings, which are done in a more sort of group meditative way, so it's non-invasive, just sort of conversations from the stage, but really, really powerful work. So we're really hoping that when people come, they're ready to be bigger and better, they're ready to let go of the past, they're ready to really access their own inner resources. A lot of the things I'm thinking, Joelle, that people are seeing is being bullied.
Let's find out a little bit from Lisa. Lisa, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? And I hear that Dan's actually joined the conversation too on Google Hangouts, right?
Hey, Dan.
Hi.
Hi, Dan.
Well, I don't know.
I guess not. Yeah.
Guess not. He's listening. We see him, but we can't hear. So Lisa, why don't you tell us about yourself and how does your passion test work?
Sure, absolutely, and it's very aligned to what a lot of things that Jennifer mentioned about aligning with your purpose and living that. And I come from a perspective where I'm a career and leadership coach, and I'm a certified passion test facilitator, and I'll explain a little bit in a moment what that's about. And the way I came to discover the passion test was actually through my career coaching work, and I just love it because it's a tool. It was created by Janet Bray Atwood and Chris Atwood in the United States, and it's used to help people get really clear on what are their top 5 passions in their life. In other words, what's most important to them, so that they can make better career and life decisions that are aligned, bring them joy and fulfillment. And it's something I really love, and it's a profound process, and it can also be a lot of fun. I have a range of reactions from, validating, confirming that people are making the right choices, all the way to surprises and really powerful insights and aha moments.
Is this something that's available able to experience on the 29th? Where is the actual conference going to take place?
It's going to take, yeah, go ahead, Jen.
Sorry, it's at the Ottawa RA Centre on Riverside Drive, which is a very well-known rec facility at Clark Hall. You know, it's a beautiful space with a stage and all that. So it's a really nice space with the fireplace, sort of the background, to sort of have a, you know, an intimate experience with yourself and your self-assessments, but also having the group, you know, supporting you. And you know, when there's 50, 100 people in the room doing the same thing, it's quite powerful. And Lisa makes a really good point. You know, her passion test and even purpose, it can evolve over time. You know, so even if you knew what you were supposed to do at 25, I'm 47. You know, I'm a different person, and so I'm very excited to do the passion test, so, you know, that I can get reacquainted with, okay, in my maturing self, you know, I'm a mom now, you know, I'm an entrepreneur now, what interests me, and how can I bring all my past, present, and future together, you know, and that's the whole point of the passion test. Would you agree, Lisa?
Yeah, absolutely. It's in terms of figuring out what are those things that are important to us. And what I find really interesting and neat is when people come to me and they say, oh, I don't need to go through this process. I know exactly what my top 5 passions are. And then I say, okay, well, let's go through it. Let's try it out. And they go through it and they're like, you know what? I came up with, you know, a different combination of what I thought, or some new surprises. I think that's fantastic. And some of the insights that they get are really neat, because then they can, and what we teach in the passion test is to have intention, attention, and no tension. And once we get clear, then
one more time slowly. It's have an
intention, attention, and no tension. So that's one of the secrets and formulas that we teach for the passion test.
Which is, again, like for me, the passion test is, you know, I've tracked the AdWords for years now, you know, and a lot of people know that them famous for their book. It's very in line with what I do, because it, like, passion and purpose go hand in hand. So, you know, Dan will be talking about power, having studied with Harv Eker in the Enlightened Warrior camp, and ex-military, wealth manager, understanding concepts of power. Because, again, people need to be in action, you know, when you want passion to be actualized on the planet. Like, you can know something, but now you have to enact it. You have to physically bring it into your body, have an experience of it, and have a plan. And this is what the 3 of us are really, really strong with, is not just knowledge, but the applied knowledge, which becomes wisdom, and then, you know, some kind of effect, like some kind of physical demonstration of it. Because, again, talk is cheap. That's my thinking, is, you know, I can read a book, but, you know, our job in that day is to leave you with a plan, changed physically, energetically, mentally, spiritually, you know, and then you go home and get to sort of reap the benefits of it.
So who should come to this event?
Well, you know, this is awesome, because, you know, we have, all 3 of us have overlapping client bases. I've actually had inquiries from parents saying, is this appropriate for my teenager? Someone's looking at, you know, 17 years old, they're graduating here in Ontario, going to college, but they really don't know who they are yet. I have a lot of clients, I think Lisa Anna can confirm this too on her end, who are, you know, 35-ish to 45, you know, in government or organizations. They have a job, they have a title, but it may not be fulfilling totally. You know, it may be something that is good, but they're wondering, is there more out there for me? I'm stuck. You know, I have a trajectory. I'm not always clear about it. It may be also someone who has a more humanitarian focus. Like, I have an idea. I have a book. I have, you know, I have a drive to help, you know, animals or the whales or kids or whatever it is. So, you know, it really can be a lot of different kinds of people. Lisa Anna, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had clients from, you know, late teens all the way to their 70s take the passion test. I've had people who are government workers, who are philanthropists, and last week, in fact, I took a group of scientists through the passion test, which was really super neat to see them drop into their hearts and get clear on what's important to them. So the range, you know, it's like Jen said, you know, if you feel stuck in your job, or if you want to take, you know, you're happy with your life, but you want to take things to the next level, or maybe you're transitioning and you're trying to figure out what you're going to do once, you know, you take retirement. And Daniel is actually a retirement expert, and he'll be able to also use a lot of his tools to help people to I think what happens sometimes is when people get clear on what they're passionate about or what's important to them is that they get stuck, right? They say, well, how am I going to go from here to, how am I going to go from retail to becoming a writer? And I've had that exact situation. And it's one decision, one step at a time. And working with people like Daniel and Jennifer in removing those blocks and helping people step outside their comfort zone, aligning all their resources, right?
Do you what do you want people to come to you with? Do you want them to come prepared? Do they have to do anything ahead of time? Is there a website for them to find out more information?
Sure, it's powerpassionpurpose.ca, and there's more about the actual event online there. If anyone has a question, they can sign up for our on the website powerpassionpurpose.ca. We can definitely get back to them as soon as possible. Essentially, though, people are going to come in not knowing what to expect. There are going to be maybe 10–20% of the people there who have done this before, like in the sense of a workshop where it's intensive. You're in a group dynamic, you're watching speakers on stage. And I would say the majority are people who really haven't had much experience during this kind of transformational discussion. But the good news is there's nothing weird or scary about this process. We're sitting at tables with, beautiful decorated room. There's a stage. Speaker one shows up. Dan talks about power, a conversation, asks you to go through some, self-directed exercises. Again, no one's looking at your answers. No one cares, like, are you the one who's going to be the next, movie star? Are you going to be the next Harry Potter writer? Or are you going to just help save the whales? Like, again, if you don't know that, that's the point of going, is like you don't go into a learn to speak Italian class speaking Italian, right? Like, you're supposed to come in not knowing anything. And again, our job is to make sure your bucket is full when you leave.
Is Dan speakable? Can you hear us, Dan? Can you talk? Oh, I guess not.
No, you can't hear, yeah.
Okay, Lisa Ann, do you have anything else, any specific examples or anything that you want to share with us about some things that you can enlighten us about the passion test? Go ahead.
Just to answer your question you had mentioned, or you had asked, how should people show up? One of the things that's really important is when you come as yourself. Be authentic. Part of the benefits of going through the passion test is that you learn to tease out other people's expectations from what you really want in life. Yeah. Because a lot of the times that's what gets in the way. When I do career coaching, and people who are maybe in their 40s or 50s are saying, you know what, I haven't liked my career for the last 15 years. I made my career choices based on what other people told me I should do. I'm not really clear on what I really want. So it's helping people to connect with that truth is really, really important. Examples, like I mentioned earlier, taking people who are very rational and used to working in sciences and getting them to drop into their hearts was amazing. I was very moved by the experience and seeing them connect their brilliance with their passions and create these amazing markers, which are sort of like goals, and you learn more about that during the session. And who knows, they're going to help themselves for sure, probably their community and perhaps the planet.
Yeah, and if Dan were able to talk, Dan's famous line is, the shortest distance
Dan is doing this
yeah, I'm talking about you, Dan. The shortest distance is from your head to your heart, which is what Lisa Ann is speaking about. Again, I had a client who was a computer tech guy, and he came talking to me about life purpose, and he thought it would be around computers, and I said, you're an artist. And he's like laughing. He's like, I used to doodle when I was a kid, but I haven't picked up any kind of creative talent. I said, well, let's explore that, because I'm pretty sure I can see it, in your energy field. Well, don't you know, he went home, told his wife, my funny story, the crazy lady, the angel lady said, I'm an artist. Well, the wife heard it and said, yeah, I can actually see that. So for Christmas, I guess, that season, he got a bunch of paint sets from his wife, who said, okay, go play. Well, can I tell you, 8 months later, that man made enough money based on his own art to leave his job, to work full-time in his beautiful ranch house in Cantley. I have a piece of art in my living room. It's a door to opportunity that he painted me. And it's a really tangible, for me, representation always that I believe everyone's got a purpose. I don't care how high you are, how low you are, how smart you are, how dumb you are, how rich, how poor, how sick, how well. It really doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, we're all here on purpose for a purpose, to make the world a better place somehow. And again, your how is as big and as, you know, as the world and infinity and beyond. So our job is, again, to help you move from wherever you are to a better place, to have tangible knowledge about who you are and why you're here, to remove any kind of energetic blocks to your success and failure, and to move you in an action plan to say, I will leave knowing who I am, why I'm here, and I'm going to start my feet running.
That's awesome. That's great. So tell us again, where can people get information? And I think it's awesome also just to take a day off and to come and really focus on yourself, to take that May the 29th, take a day off for yourself and really kind of tap into your own energy, to your own needs, to your own wants, to your own desires, right?
Yeah,
So,
you know, it's interesting that I mentioned this workshop to someone and said, oh, it's a whole day. And I said, yeah, why? And she's like, oh, that's a lot of time. And I said, wow, I'm used to 2 years of intense, you know, training. My background is really like, you know, thrown into the deep end and learned to swim. So I do realize that for some people, a day investment away from time, family, you know, whatever they have obligations to, can be a lot. But again, 1 hour of my time is actually the cost of the workshop. We're providing lunch. You're getting the passion test, which is a value of $300 or more Canadian, plus 3 of our, you know, expertises. So, you know, there's a huge value and return on investment here. And again, we encourage people to take the time to really look at yourself to say, you want something different, you're going to have to do something different. You know, you're going to have to move into a different state, a healed state, a more resourceful state. And that's our job. Our job, we have our own expertises that overlap, and the combination will give you a really nice kapow punch. I call it empower, you know, like where you're just feeling really energized, excited about yourself. And it's lasting. I really want to identify that. A lot of workshops I attended over, again, my 20 years of self-discovery, you know, you could go and then it's like eating some kind of food that you give a high, then you get a low, you know, like you go up and then you go down. And you know, my training, my own brand is about sustainable growth that will build on the foundation so you can keep moving forward. I know Lisa Anna works that way. I know Dan works that way. So we're really excited about providing something that actually will work with you